about this. So can we just get into it today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
Like usually we ask each other how we're doing. So I want to, but then I also want to get into the topic.
Go for it. It's okay. Your show.
No, it's our show.
I know, but you're going into the topic, so.
Okay, so then it might as well. Okay,
yes.
So let me take the mic for a second.
Yes.
Okay, so we are getting right into it today.
Yes.
All right, so a lot has been happening in social media this week, and particularly we want to talk about Monique and the bonnet situation.
Man.
I know.
I feel like I need a sip of my drink.
I know. Yeah, maybe we should both take a sip.
So what's your take on that? Well, actually, you know what? Let's kind of go into what she said, right?
Yeah. Okay. So I think if we're setting the stage, I think the overarching question here is, do you think that what you wear shows or is a reflection of what you think about yourself? So that's like that. So we're just going to leave that there. We're going to pin that question. We'll put a pin in it.
Yes.
So let's recap like you suggested.
Yes.
Okay. So earlier this week, right? So Monique the comedian, stand-up comedian, her comments are going viral because she made comments about Black women in particular wearing bonnets and slippers in public, right? So she starts off, this is on her Instagram post so anyone can see it, and she starts off by explaining how excited she is because she's going on tour or whatever. Right. So she is excited. She says she's going to the airport. She's at the airport. And while she's at the airport, she sort of recounts her experience there, right? And she says that all she's seeing at the airport are Black women in bonnets, slippers, and pajamas. Right. And she's saying like and she said there was just too many for her to count. She stopped counting. And that there was too many for her to tap, right? Because I guess Auntie Monique would have tapped them and be like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you wearing that? Too many. That's how many Black women were at the supposed airport wearing bonnets, slippers, and pajamas.
Could it be because of COVID?
I thought about that. It could be. Okay. It could be. Right. So then she continues to go on. And she basically says that not only is she seeing this trend at the airport,
right,
but she's seeing it in Walmart, the grocery stores, everywhere. So in the Instagram post, she goes on to ask women, Black women in particular, right? Because we're the ones wearing the bonnets, to look presentable. She doesn't even ask. She just like says that we should be looking presentable no matter where we go. Right. And she says that too many of us are looking like, what the fuck? That we look like we don't give a damn.
Right.
And she says that we should always have pride in our representation of ourselves. Right. And so she says that we call ourselves queens. Hey, queen, right. Queen this, queen that. Hey, queen.
But we're not presenting
queen, fix your crown. So. Right. But we're not presenting ourselves as right. So. And so she says, queens don't walk around. Sorry. She says, queens don't walk around in bonnets, slippers, and pajamas.
Right.
And she says that by doing that, we are blocking our beauty. Woo.
Yeah.
That was a lot to digest.
I'll take a sip to that.
There was a lot going on there. It's a lot. And as soon as I saw this, I shared it with you and I was like, we got to talk about this because I knew that you and I probably had differing opinions on it, but like, I even had an internal conflict.
Yeah. I agree that we probably are going to stand on the opposite end of this.
We might. Okay, so first of all, so let's just dive in with our opinions about this, right? And then we can hash it out because And I'd be so curious to know what the tribe says too, what our tribe says, and what everyone else's opinions are, because this is everywhere. This is all over Black media, Black social media.
Right.
And so I appreciated the fact that she led with love, right? And so she's like, for those of you who call me auntie, and it sounded as though she was really speaking to those people who admire and respect her.
Right.
That's how she started. But then it sounded as though she started painting with a broader brush, right? And then she started just putting all of us in there, all Black women in there. And that's when I was just kind of like, well, you know, I don't really call you auntie. So I understood where she was coming from. And I think she was just trying to sort of grab our coattail and be like, hey, you know, fix that crown, right? You're a queen. And so she kept saying that she was leading with love, right? That she was talking to us and this was coming from a place of love in her heart. And then before we even get into our opinions, and then there was, you know, because all this backlash happened, then there was sort of a rebuttal, a response from her. Right. And she was sort of unapologetically standing by her statements.
Right.
And she also, I think, said, you know, she understands that her comments may not be for everyone. And that in time, some of us will understand where she is coming from, if not agree with what she is saying. So my first opinion is, you know, I think, so our podcast stands for a lot of things, you know, like even in our bio, we're talking about live outside the lines, don't live by societal norms. We are not perfect. So I find it really hard to endorse or support what Monique is saying. Although I understand where she's coming from, I find it so hard to really support her or agree with her, because I do think that her comments sort of put us in a societal mold, put us back in a societal mold. Like, what do you think Black women should look like at the airport? I mean, that's the other thing. It's the airport. It's Walmart. Like, she's not saying that she's seeing folks at restaurants in bonnets. You know, it's like, well, how are you supposed to dress when you go to the airport? I don't know.
You know what? Those same people are probably going to the restaurants in bonnets and slippers. I mean, if you make it to the grocery store, why can't you just go to the restaurants in a bonnet and slippers? She just happened to catch them at the airport because she was there. But who is to say that they're not at restaurants?
I mean, right. And she did say, but let me ask you a question. When you go to the airport, right, or when you were getting ready to go on a flight, like, what do you do on that flight? What do you do when you're actually on the plane?
I mean, you're rested, like you're sitting right, that not much happens. Like,
and you sleep. I sleep.
And you sleep.
So I'm okay if people are prepared to go to sleep. Right. You know, if they come to the airport dressed to go to sleep, because that's what they might be doing. Right. We don't know where they were going. We don't know how long their flight was, you know, and maybe it's sort of like, you know, if you have something special to reveal, you hide it behind a velvet curtain. You know, you hide it. So maybe I'm just hiding my beauty right now, because when I get to where I'm going,
it's going to be on.
It's going to be on. My hair is going to be silky. But you know what I mean? Like, maybe it will be on, because I'm putting this bonnet on to protect my hair. Right. I have these slippers on so I don't get corns and I'm comfortable and I don't damage my feet. Maybe I had a pedicure. I don't know.
But what's the explanation about a PJ and a blanket? It's like, why do you need all that?
Blanket, maybe I'm cold. PJs, like you said at the top, it's COVID. Look, I don't need to be wearing anything fancy to the airport, because maybe these are like disposable pajamas. And as soon as I get to where I'm going to go, I'm going to throw them away. Just kidding. Right. All right. Not disposable pajamas. The pajamas, I think, are a stretch. Right. But, you know, she didn't just say pajamas. She added bonnets. I would even agree with the slippers, but I think, you know what it is? I think the bonnet piece is really catching people. The bonnet and the scarf piece, I think, is really catching people.
I mean, look, I know I'm thinking about how to say this without coming across really, you know, but
You just gotta say it. You just gotta say it.
I know you know what I'm gonna say about this, right? I think that you only get one chance to make a first impression, right? And I've I've lived with that forever. So I'm not knocking people that are out there just being, super comfortable in whatever they feel comfortable in. I'm not knocking that. You know what I mean? If that's your style, if that's your thing, sure. Um, and I love the fact that, I'm all about dressing. No, I'm not about, sorry, I'm not about, dressing to impress, but I love the fact that you can dress to express, right?
Okay.
However, I love that concept. But I don't know, like I feel like house clothes just need to stay in the house.
So
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why are we wearing PJs to the grocery store? I've seen people at the grocery store before COVID in PJs and house slippers and headscarves and a robe. And a robe, yes, and a robe.
Okay.
Like SpongeBob pants with the robe, like the whole shebang. You look like you got out of your bed and you went to the store. I don't know.
Okay. So I wouldn't do that. I personally wouldn't do that. And I would be embarrassed if anyone from my family did that and I was with them.
Yes.
But if someone wants to wear pajamas at the grocery store, and if they did actually just roll out of bed to go to the grocery store, isn't that their prerogative? Isn't that their prerogative? I think the other thing that got people, because you mentioned robe, was that here Monique is in her Instagram post.
I know you're gonna say that.
In a robe.
But you know what?
And the platform is worldwide.
True. But in her defense, she was home or in her hotel room or whatever. She was inside her house. She wasn't out and about making a video in a robe. Like, you know what I mean?
So her point is, don't wear house clothes outside of the house.
I think that's what she was trying. Well, I would hope that's what she was trying to say. I don't know if it went too far, you know what I mean? But I kind of agree. Like, house clothes needs to stay in the house. Like, I mean, I'm not judging you, right? I mean, people's circumstances are completely different. I get that. But like, why are we in the grocery store in PJs and house slippers?
Right. You know what I mean? I guess if I wanted to extend this and like be really extreme, does it, like, who dictates what someone should look like when they leave the house?
I mean, there must be like a fashion police out there.
It feels right. And it sort of feels like no one should dictate what I should be wearing when I leave the house. So it does sort of feel like it's policing.
Right.
In a way, right? So like now, and I think that Monique is in a different situation than the average person.
Right.
Because in Monique's response, she also talked about a time when Patti LaBelle sort of tapped her and was just like, hey, she said she was in her feelings and Patti LaBelle talked to her and then it helped and it changed her life. And I think that Monique is in a different situation. Monique is a celebrity. So when Monique leaves the house, people are going to be taking pictures. When she's at the grocery store, people are going to be taking pictures. So I think it does matter to a certain extent what, in Monique's mind, what you do wear when you leave the house.
Right.
Because people are looking for you. But I think for the average person, it may not matter. It really may not matter if I'm going to Walmart. Like, who am I going to see at Walmart?
Have you gone into the store in your PJs?
No, it's not for me.
Slippers?
It's not for me. It's not for me. But as I tell you that it's not for me, there's part of my brain that's like, well, why is it not for you? Has someone told you that it's not for you? Who told you? Who conditioned you to think that you can't wear what you wear in the house outside of the house? Right. And so I feel like there is some sort of conditioning from society. Right. Again, I understand Monique's points, right? She is just saying, like, if we want to garner the respect of society for the Black race,
Right.
you know, for Black women who are often not seen as capable of being loved, of being respected, then why sort of be self-destructive? Why make it harder on ourselves?
Right.
So why not make it a point to make sure that you look respectable, whatever that means. And in this case, she's saying like, not wear bonnets, not wear slippers, not wear pajamas, at least comb your hair, throw on a wig, throw on a headband wig, like throw on anything.
Right.
To at least just seem respectable in this society that still does not see us as equal.
Right.
So I understand all of that, but I can't help but push back and just be like, but who are you to dictate it? You know what I mean? And then it just reminds me, right? She sort of like it came off as preachy. Like, I don't think she intended it to come off as preachy, but I think that's how a lot of people perceived it. Mm-hmm. And then it seemed hypocritical that she was in the bathrobe. Mm-hmm. And then I think people also got reminded of like when Bill Cosby was on his sort of tirade about how men should dress, like no do-rags, no baggy jeans. And then, you know, we all know how Bill Cosby's story ended. And so I think that people are just sort of like, why don't you make sure that your house is in order before you start coming over here and calling us out of our name, right? Or just live and let live.
Yeah. But, you know, I get it. Look, I don't know. I must say that you just need to look presentable. Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't think you need to look presentable for society, but for yourself. I think you just need to show up for yourself, period. If you're comfortable with like showing up for yourself, then that's it. Great. Then go for that. If you're not, then I guess don't be surprised that people are coming at you or looking at you a certain way or treating you a certain way, because unfortunately, that's just how our society is, right? You know, kind of clothes makes the man.
I think that's people's point, right? Like, who made that rule?
Who made that? Right.
Who made that rule? And how were you supposed to dress? And I think, you know, Monique is using her platform. And again, she led with love and she's like the older auntie. And it's like, we should respect what the auntie is saying.
Right.
But then does the auntie also respect the young women's opinions? You know, the queens in training, as she called them, who are still wearing bonnets and things like that. Like, you know, is there a mutual respect there? And I think a lot of people just might have felt sort of disrespected. Also considering, so I had to look it up because, you know, it's been a while since Monique has been sort of out. Obviously now she's touring. I learned about that on her Instagram, but I went and I looked up some of her older stuff, her older routines.
Yeah.
In 2011, and I YouTubed it because I was like, well, you know, because I saw people on social media saying things like, you know, well, when you were doing your stand-up, you weren't exactly representing Black women in the proper way either, you know. And I looked, and I mean, there were a lot of MF bums, like motherfucker this, motherfucker that, N-word this, N-word that, you know. And I think when people get on their social media platforms and they are trying to educate others or sort of enlighten others or tap them on the shoulder in a figurative way, I think they also just need to make sure that their ducks are in a row and that their house is in order first, because it's really hard to receive that message when your stand-up routine isn't necessarily reflective of a Black queen either, right? According to what your standard is.
Right. But so let me ask you, do you think if this message came from a different celebrity, do you think it would have been taken differently? Like, let's say Beyonce came out and said that.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Like, how would that be taken?
Honestly, I think people are like, yes, Beyonce, we will change. But done. I think they'd be like, done.
Right. I feel like there would be like no no talks about it. There'll be no negative opinions about.
But that's because Beyonce's walking the walk, right? It doesn't feel like Monique is walking the walk.
Right.
And I think that's where people were just kind of like, well.
So the message isn't the problem. I guess the problem is the messenger. Is that what I'm kind of hearing from you? In a way, in a disturbing.
I would say 60% the messenger, 40% the message, right? Because the message wasn't all bad. It wasn't.
Right.
I did feel her love. I did.
Yeah.
I think I think the way she delivered it I think she could have delivered it a different way. But I also think it really caught people off guard because it's like, well, we're not talking about you sitting at a fancy restaurant and Black women showing up in bonnets and slippers. It's the airport.
It's like, a public place.
It is a public place, but most of the time, it is a disease box. People just don't, you know what I mean? Like, I was never one of those people to dress up to go to the airport. I know, like, back in the 50s and the 60s, people did that a lot. People still do that. So I don't want to sound judgy. But I also learned, like, having to lead flights, layovers, all this stuff. I'm like, I used to dress up to go to the airport. I'm like, because I used to be excited I was traveling. I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing this anymore because I need to be prepared to sleep on the floor sometimes when I'm at the airport. So you know what? I'm going to wear the most comfortable thing. I'm not going to do my hair because first of all, I don't even want my hair touching that headdress because I don't know how much they've disinfected it. So there's a lot of factors that go into what I wear at the airport. And it may seem like I didn't make an effort, but quite contraire.
Right.
I actually did make an effort to not have any part of my body touch the airplane. So I got my bonnet, my blanket, my slippers that I'm probably going to throw away after the flight.
See,
I'm not wearing my good stuff on the flight.
But see, I understand what you're saying. I totally do. But you know, that is not for me. Like, you will not catch me in PJs, in house slippers, with a blanket or a bonnet on my head at the airport. You're not. Like, I will find other comfortable piece of clothing to put on, like sweats and a t-shirt and pair of sneakers, a hat, I don't know, or maybe a really cute turban head wrap or something. Definitely not a scarf that's tied right here. What
if you're running late?
Oh, you're not catching me. I am missing my flight. I am missing that flight. Not doing it. It's not for me.
If you woke up late and you still had time to catch the plane, but you were in your pajamas and you had your headscarf on and you had your slippers and you did not have time to change, you would miss your flight because
we're gonna have to fix it because I'm not going out the house like that, Marisa. Not doing it. No. I can't. Maybe when I'm old and I don't know what the hell I don't know any better. Right. And I have no concept of what the hell I have on. Maybe you'll catch me out there looking like that. But I don't know. That's not for me. I don't judge people that are out there doing that. But I must say, when I see that, my head just go places.
Where does your head go?
Like, I don't know. Like, it's like, do you care? Like, I mean, are you clean? Or like, are you, like, hygiene wise? Like, I don't know. Like, my head just like, did you shower before you came out the house to go to the like grocery store? You know what I mean? Did you brush your teeth? Did you wash your face? Like, not in a bad way, but it's like, you look like you roll out of your bed and here you are in the supermarket standing behind me, like at the cash register. So like, I'm wondering, like, what was your process, like your routine this morning to get you from your house to, like, you know what I mean? To be in front of you, behind me in a grocery line. Like,
you just want to see a little bit of effort every time you leave the house. It's like basic hygiene 101.
Yes. Put on sweats, put on a baggy t-shirt. You know what I mean? Like, fix your bonnet. Like, I don't know, like wrap it, like, no.
Right. I mean, and now there are a lot of companies that have made, hair protection products, right? So like there are stylish hats that you can wear. There are stylish scarves that you can wear. So it doesn't have to be sort of the traditional like do-rag headscarf. There are a lot of stylish ways to still protect your hair without it looking like you rolled out of bed.
even if you wear your bonnet, like fix it up. Don't wear it down to your note like your eye level.
Fix it up?
Don't
How
like
do you
don't
fix it up?
like
Push it back.
no, but like I
Is that a thing? Like the further down you wear your bonnet, the further down you wear your bonnet.
I mean, it looks like you literally just like rumble in your bed and you got up and went. It's like falling over your eye. Like, no, man, like fix it up. Like there are so many beautiful like head wraps or like ties that you can do and leave, or throw on a pair of like slippers or sliders or whatever.
So,
like
I know maybe it's a situation where like the younger generation just doesn't know any better, and maybe they do need the older generation. So let me ask you this: maybe they do need the older generation to sort of advise, guide. So do you think the older generation sort of has a right to say those things to us? And do you think that the older generation's ideas are more sort of Eurocentric?
Yeah, I think they have. I mean, I don't know. Do they have the right? I think so, a little bit. Right? I think they have the right to sort of like enlighten us a little bit, and yeah, teach us. Again, I think self-presentation is big.
So you're okay with that, like auntie role?
Yeah, like if you catch me somewhere looking a certain way, I'm okay with like baby girl. Like if you're an auntie to me, like tap me on my shoulder, and like baby girl, yeah, do that. I feel like yes, I will take that.
Okay.
Obviously not from any strangers, but if like I said, an auntie, whatever, yes, go for that. But yeah, I think the younger generation needs to learn a little bit of that. Like, yeah, don't roll out your bed and go out and go about your life. Act like you didn't have to brush your teeth and look presentable. No, that's not cool. Not in my eyes.
So where do you think the younger generation sort of got that idea?
I think it's laziness, to be honest with you.
And maybe that's where Monique was getting at. Maybe that's what she was getting at.
Probably. I don't know if she did a good job of delivering or making it clear, but I think it's laziness. It's pure laziness.
Yeah, but sometimes I'm lazy.
Huh?
But sometimes I'm lazy.
But it's fine. I'm lazy too, but I'm not lazy enough to walk out my house in my PJs. You know what I mean? Like I'm lazy to put on some sweats and a baggy t-shirt and a pair of sneakers. You know what I mean? I feel like we could all do that to a certain extent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm laziness to do that all day. But I'm not lazy to leave my house in a robe and a house slippers, like in a bond. No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Again, I wouldn't do that. I personally wouldn't do that. But there are times where I have said to myself, oh, I wish I could just like roll out of bed and in my robe, in my bonnet.
Right.
And like just get shit done. Like I just gotta get to the airport. I just want to wear this. And I apologize in advance for anyone who's going to see me, but I kind of don't really want to do too much because I know what it's like when I'm at the airport. I'm going to be like sweaty. I'm going to be restless. I'm going to be tired. I'm going to be like, I'm going to feel when I get off the plane. So
let me ask you, do you think that you had the same thought when you were younger versus where you are today, like married, settled with a child, seasoned?
No, when I was younger, it was like going to the airport, I would show up. I'd be like on point. Like I'd plan my outfit the night before, what I'm wearing to the airport.
Yeah.
To and from.
Right.
Now I'm just like, oh, sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to make the effort. So when I hear of stories of women at the airport doing that, I can empathize. It's so funny the things that I can empathize with, because I do understand why someone may just sort of roll out of bed and just get to the airport, because maybe that's not their priority to look good. Maybe that's not their priority to care what other people are thinking. Maybe their priority is just to get to the airport and get to their final destination, and they'll do that later. It's like, I have no one to impress at the airport. I actually don't want anyone to see me at the airport. So I don't care. And to be honest with you, I'm just going to throw a wrench in this conversation. I also think that it could be interpreted as a sign of confidence. I personally, follow me on this. I personally do not think I am confident enough to show up at the airport with a bonnet, a robe, and pajamas. I'm not confident enough to do that.
Why don't you think that?
Well, because I do know that by doing that, I will get some stares from people. And I just don't want to draw any attention to myself when I'm at the airport. I'm already nervous when I'm at the airport as it is. My favorite thing to do at the airport, though, is to people watch. Right. So I know me. And if I see you at the airport in pajamas, in a robe, like I'm picturing Ernie the Muppet with the rubber ducky, the robe, the slippers, and the back scratcher or the thing to keep your back. Like I'm picturing all of that. And if I see you at the airport looking like Ernie the Muppet, I'm gonna look at you and I'm probably gonna judge you and be like, well, why couldn't you at least, like, did you look in the mirror? Yeah. But at the same time, there's a deep down desire that I have to be like those people who have enough confidence to do that and not care what people think. Yeah.
You know, I guess it could be looked upon as having enough confidence, but you know what? Not from my eyes. I'm not looking at you like that. But I just think you're lazy.
Right.
I'm sorry. I can't, like, I get it. People's lives are different. We all have lived through the same stuff. I get it, but like, I don't know.
There's no justifying it in your eyes. I get it, and it's possible. It's a hard stop for you.
No, man. Not in PJs and robe and house slippers and a bonnet. No, man. No. If I see you like great sweats, great, I mean, whatever. That's to me a really, like, I don't know, lazy look would be like something baggy, right? Or like I said, like sweats and a pair of sneakers or a t-shirt or whatever. Like I can travel like that. I don't have to get dressed up to travel, to be honest with you. Especially now. But that's as far as I go. Sweats, jeans, t-shirt. Yeah. Not doing the bonnet, not doing the house slippers. I don't even want to step out of my house in my house slippers, okay? To go get the mail, go get the mail, or go roll the trash barrel to the street. Like I don't even want to do that.
I know. I do see people walking their dog in my neighborhood in their robe, and I'm like, wow. You're out here in your robe.
Right. You could pick up a coat and cover all of that and then walk your dog. Like, nah, man.
And it does feel, let me ask you this, like when you see people wearing their pajamas and slippers and robe, don't you feel like you're invading on their privacy? Like, don't you feel like
you see too much?
Yeah. Like, I didn't need to see your robe today because now I feel like I know you on a different level and I didn't want to know you on that level. Like now I know what you wear to bed. And I didn't want to see that today. And I don't even know you.
Yes, it's so true. And, you know, and I take it like a whole other level too. I when I see people wearing their house stuff outside, in my head, I'm like, are you going to go home and climb into your bed?
Are you
wearing what I just saw you at the you know what I mean? At the grocery store or walking, you know what I mean? Like, I think the minute you step out of the house, you're catching stuff. I mean, it's in the air. I don't know, but
those are now street clothes.
Right. To me, that's now street clothes. And you're coming home. You're probably not going to change. You're going to hop right into bed in those same clothes. That's dirty. I don't know. Like, sorry. I don't want to sound judgy and mean, but in my head, that's not cool.
You did take that to another level.
I did. I totally did. Like I said, my house slippers, they don't even go to the street level to take out trash. And if they do, like I come back, I clean them because I don't know, maybe I'm just anal like that.
Do you think that there's a double standard for us versus men, like for women versus men?
In terms of
what we wear outside of the house? Because I don't know. I feel like a man could probably get away with wearing a do-rag and maybe not pajamas, but like something that they might wear to bed, maybe a t-shirt and basketball shorts or something like that. I feel like a guy could sort of get away with wearing the equivalent of a bonnet and society not be so judgmental about what they're wearing.
I think it's how neat it looks on your head, right? I don't know. I mean, a do rag. I'm fine with the do rag. You wearing a do. I don't think that matters really, right?
See, so what's the difference between a do-rag and a bonnet?
It's different because it fits differently. It's tightly put together. A bonnet. When you say a bonnet, that thing is like a sack on your head. And I've seen some bonnets, like, you know what I mean. So I think it's a little different. I don't know. Like you can wear like a headscarf. I have no issues with a woman wearing a headscarf outside. None whatsoever. Neatly put together, tied, whatever. I think that's all cute and maybe when you pair it with the PJs and the robe, that's like a whole look. You know what I mean? And now as I'm talking, I just realized that the bonnet situation is not so bad until you pair it with the PJs and the house slippers. Then it becomes like a whole pack. Like it becomes, I don't know, it becomes a disaster.
Right. So once you see the whole package, then it feels like you're invading the person's privacy. But if you just see the bonnet and the person is sort of in jeans and a t-shirt, then it's like, okay, I understand.
Yeah, I get it.
You're just trying to protect your hair while you're on this flight, but
yes,
you are still making sure that you are presenting yourself in a respectable fashion while out in public.
Yeah. You look like you care what you look like when you step out your house. That's what you look like. You know what I mean? And that's great. Like the bonnet to me, I don't know if it's like you said, it's not a big thing. It's what you pair it with.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe they're just protecting the hairstyle or maybe that whatever the reason behind it is. It's all good. It's just the PJs and the house slippers. I can't digest that one.
Okay, so yes to bonnet, or any sort of hair,
any head wrap,
protective product.
Whatever. Yes to all that.
Yes to all that. The pajamas, the robe, and the slippers. No what about Crocs?
Oh, Crocs are fine.
Okay.
You can travel in Crocs or go to the store with Crocs. That's fine. Just don't take the slippers that you walk in your house with to the grocery store.
Well, people wear different things for slippers. So I am curious to know what kind of slippers Monique was seeing out there. Like the bedroom slippers, like that Weezy used to wear in the Jeffersons, or is it like Nike athletic flip-flops? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've seen the ones with no sole at the store. Okay. So now it has no sole. You need to stay in your house. Okay.
The ones that like sort of scuff the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like bendable. It's leather all the way around. It's like it has no rubber sole. Like this. You shouldn't be on cement. Okay.
Like the isotoner slippers.
Right.
Like, no isotoner slippers.
No. But going back to your statement about men, you feel like they can get no, they can't. It's the same thing to me. Can't be going out in your PJs and your oversized t-shirt and your slippers. No, none of that. I don't think so. To me, it's the same.
Okay. Now I know where you stand on that.
I'm sorry. It's a bit judgy there, but
listen, I mean, this is why it's been so controversial this week.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
So let me ask you this. If you see some of our young sisters out there, as Monique had stated, out in public, in the bonnet, in the pajamas, in the slippers, are you tapping anyone?
Nah, man, I'm not tapping nobody. I'm staying in my lane. I'm gonna look at you, but I'm not tapping your shoulders. Unless I know you, I'm not tapping you. Like, no.
Yeah.
It's not that serious to me.
Right.
It's not that serious to me because I know that it may just not be everyone's thing. And I get it. And what's my thing may not be your thing. So I need you to get me too. So I'm not tapping no one, but
no. I do I believe, I have to believe sort of that just because someone is not dressing in a manner that I see as presentable doesn't necessarily mean that they lack confidence, right? Like I also think, and this is why I asked the question earlier about, do you think that there's a double standard with men too? Because I feel like my husband is a great example of that. You know, he just will wear like t-shirts and baggy stuff like nobody's business, you know, but you speak to him and he has the best confidence in the world, you know? So there were so many variables in Monique's comments. And I feel like there were so many different situations that have to be taken into account before you make blanket statements. Again, I understood where she was coming from. She definitely came from a place of love. And I do think that there's a responsibility of the older generation to sort of educate or just remind maybe the younger generation of how they're being perceived. But I also at the same time realize that there's sort of a rebellion going on with the younger generation. And I think that their whole platform is like, I am who I am. Don't tell me what you want me to be. Just let me be. And that was sort of the backlash that I saw from Monique's comments.
Right.
I don't think that, I think there needed to be some sort of clarification as to where her love was coming from. And I think a lot of people were just wondering if her advice was coming from sort of a conformist type of view where it's like, well, whose society measures are you imposing upon us? And saying that we're not respecting ourselves because we're wearing pajamas outside of the house. Like, whose societal norm are you projecting on us, you know? And I think if maybe she led with the history of Black culture, and in Black culture, how we were kings and we were queens and we dressed up and how we dressed symbolized our level of confidence, I think it might have landed differently with people.
Right.
But I think because people didn't understand where her intentions were necessarily coming from, aside from like an auntie, I don't think that she was successful at delivering her message.
Right.
But trying to apply some empathy to it, I understood where she was coming from. But overall, I don't necessarily agree with calling people out on it.
Right. No, I agree with what you're saying. But I also think that the messenger is the issue here.
And it could be. Like you said, I love that example. Like if Beyonce said it, she would be like, Beehive, when I see you, Beehive, I want you to be fierce, like Sasha. And they would have been like, sure, Beyonce. And then you would have had people showing up in heels and furs.
Right. Yeah, no, I think that has a lot to do with it. I honestly strongly believe that has a lot to do with it. But, you know, like you said, I think she probably should have gone a little deeper with where she was coming from. But I think people know. It just wasn't said. Like, she didn't say it. So it probably came out a bit more judgy than anything else.
Yeah. I mean, if someone tells me I'm looking like, what the fuck? Shit, I'm going to be a little bit defensive, you know?
Yeah, I mean, but I must say, I've seen some people that look like, what the fuck?
I know.
Shouldn't be. So.
I know.
I've seen it. I can't unsee it. So I can't unsee it. And I don't know. I agree with what you said about the way she came at people about it, for sure. I don't think she should have, come out that way, but she does have a point to a certain extent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She kind of, I don't know. Tell Beyonce to deliver the same message in 1 month.
I know. We should channel her. Beyonce, right. Just say what Monique said. Just say it your way.
Just say it your way. You see what happens.
Yeah.
People would drop PJs and robes and house slippers.
I know.
In a heartbeat. You want me to wear heels? Where? When? Why? Sure.
It'll be the whole I Am King album, right?
Yes, exactly.
I know. Okay, so where are we landing here? Are we just gonna sort of agree to disagree? Because I feel like you're playing this a little bit more conservative today, and I'm a little bit more on the liberal side. What are your thoughts?
I mean, look, I I told you, I kind of think she has a point.
Yeah. Okay.
I think she has a point. I don't, I may not agree with the way she went about it. I think she was too short on her message. You know what I mean?
Okay.
She should have, went a little deeper, as you would say. Go a little deeper before you like call people out. But I think her message, the core message, I gotta agree with her.
Yeah.
I have to give it to her. Like I'm all about dressing to express yourself. I completely get that. I completely am all about that. But you have to draw the line here. Like going to the grocery store looking like you just roll out of your bed, it's not cute.
Yeah.
It's not cute. And then if you're perceived a certain way, well, it's the society that we live in. So I don't know. Like,
Right.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
and I think that's a good point. You can't get away from, you can't get
Right.
away and you can't control other people's perceptions.
You can't. I mean, you're
So
putting
put
it
your
in their
best foot-
face.
Right, right. So put your best foot forward because no one
Right.
wants to see what your pajamas look like. It's just
Right.
too much
Right.
information.
Not really. Like, put on a pair of shorts and a t-shirt and sneakers and go out. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
put on some sweats and go out. We all have that. But, like, don't leave your house in PJs and a robe and braless.
Oh, oh.
So, like, yeah, I've seen some stuff at some supermarkets. So,
Yeah.
I can't unsee that. I cannot unsee that.
You sound traumatized.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, girl.
You sound like Monique was traumatized.
Yes. Well, I don't know if she was, but probably. I don't know. I don't know what she saw, but she said it's countless, right? She said too many to count. So
She did. Whew. All right. Well, next time I'm at the airport, I guess I better be on point.
I mean, look, don't wear your best heels out. To
My
the
Sunday
airport.
best.
Oh, don't wear your Sunday best to the airport, but put on some sweats and a t-shirt. You'll be good. You can get comfortable in such a t-shirt. Everybody
does-
get comfortable in such a
That
t-shirt.
is true. It doesn't require much effort.
No, it doesn't take a lot at all.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think they're lazy. Laziness.
I can't argue with that. I cannot argue with that because even when I do desire to do things like that, like roll out of the house in my pajamas, I do say to myself, I'm like, Marissa, no, you gotta like wash your face. You gotta get yourself together. Like, you gotta push a little bit more. You don't be lazy. I do say that to myself. So
Yeah, try a little harder.
there might be
It
an
doesn't
element
take
of
much.
laziness.
What'd you say?
I said there might be an element of laziness.
Yeah, I think it's led by laziness.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. But
Ooh.
I don't know. If you catch me, I don't know if you can catch me on that boat ever. But
No, clearly we will never catch you like that.
like maybe when I'm 90 and I can't control what I'm wearing.
Then you'll be excused. But if I catch you earlier, then that's going to be the demise. That's going to be your demise. Don't let me catch you out there. Don't let me catch you
I
out
don't
there.
know, Marissa.
Now you got to be up point all the time.
Yeah, girl, even when I don't try, I think I do okay. But like, I cannot picture myself outside of these walls in a PJ and a robe. Like I
The
can't.
the robe and the slippers are pushing it. The robe and the slippers are pushing it. I think my safe space where I feel strong enough to push back is the bonnet.
Right.
And I think you agreed with that. I think we were on the same page as far as like having a bonnet or the scarf or the head scarf. We're okay with that. Would we do it? No, but I think we're okay with that.
No.
I do think that we're pushing the envelope there with the pajamas and the slippers. However, I'm working on myself and I'm trying not to judge. Would I do it? Would I allow my child to do it? No.
Yeah, that's a good question. Would you allow your girls to do it, your daughter?
No.
Yeah, I'm not, I'm not doing that.
No, because it's hygiene 101 to me. No,
Yep.
so I wouldn't. But I mean, look, what am I gonna do when she's 20 years old? What if I'm at the airport with her? I'm still going to be able to say, hopefully I'll be able to say, she may not listen to me. I'm like, you can't come to the airport with me like that.
Well, I mean, I think if you pretty consistent with the way you do it now, I don't think
maybe she'll never have a desire.
She won't know what it feels like.
Yeah.
It's like, why do I want to do that? No, she's not going to go down that route.
Until she does it and she's going to be like, oh my God, this is awesome.
Just tell her not to jump right into her bed in the same PJs.
Oh, God.
Which I know people do all the time. You know what I mean? I know
it's like having shoes in the bed. It's like shoes in the bed. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. I know.
Sorry.
I know. We're judgy. We're being judgy tonight.
That is so nasty. But no, that is nasty. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. It's gross. Shoes in your bed. Or you know what other thing? Dirty feet in the bed. It's just as bad.
Oh yeah.
Just as bad.
Oh yeah. Especially now that it's summer and you walk around in flip-flops all day. Oh
and
my God.
Right in bed.
I know. Do you remember when we used to live in the city and we used to walk on flip-flops all day and how dirty our feet would be? Oh yeah. That'd be disgusting. It's like you take all that grit and all the germs and all the liquid trash.
You might as well just lick your foot. But because you're gonna jump in bed with it, you might as well just lick it because it's gross.
Once you wear your clothes in the street, they're street clothes. They are not to be put in.
They're dirty.
They're dirty. That's it.
Yes,
that's
they're dirty.
Do
not go in bed with your clothes. Even if they're house clothes, don't wear them. They had no business being outside the house, but now that you took them outside, you make sure you don't come back inside with them.
Oh, this is a good episode. This was so good.
This was really good.
We were on fire.
Yeah. I had to apologize. I feel like I was really judgy, but I wasn't judgy. I was really passionate about my points.
I mean, we're allowed to share them.
I know.
They're just opinions. Everyone has them.
Yeah. Yes.
That's our opinion.
That is definitely our opinion.
And we differed a little bit, and that's totally fine.
Yeah. Nothing.
So, I mean, we have to remember to live our life and not live with inside the box, right? Because life is not one size fits all. So these are only our opinions today. As you see, we're divided.
Very divided. But it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can come to a happy medium.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You just can't travel with me in your PJs, that's all. Can you imagine the next time we travel, you show up in your PJs?
I'm going to. Oh, I'm so going to. And my robe.
Oh my God, I am going to die.
That is a prank I'm putting in my back pocket for you.
Oh man. I don't even know how I would react if I saw you strolling down the airport in your robe and PJs.
You know, you're gonna
try to talk to me. You ready to go, Ellie? I'm like, who are you? I draw some boundaries. I don't know if I could do that, Marisa.
You're my friend.
But you know what? I will not judge. I will let you be.
Exactly. We'll be on the lookout for you, ready to tap me on my shoulder.
Yeah, maybe some auntie will be at the airport.
I know.
Imagine. With you.
Baby girl, why you got that bonnet on your head? Why you at the airport in your pajamas?
Looking like you're in your own bathroom at home. What? Oh man.
Oh, all right. Remember to live your life.
Yes.
Remember to go back to some earlier episodes. Catch up with us, please. Start from episode 1.
Till next time.
Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Lifing It. Please visit us on Instagram at Lifing It Podcast for links to earlier episodes, or check us out on YouTube at Lifing It Podcast.